Hey everyone, and welcome to another D-French music guitar lesson. I've been teaching new guitar players for about 20 years, and I found that the best way to get them motivated and give them some instant gratification is to teach them basic chords right away. This takes the mystery out of playing the instrument and shows them that they can play their favorite songs within a few weeks of starting. Chords are typically just three notes played together and are the basis of harmony. The chords I like to start off with are E minor, C, D7, and G. Once we get basic chords under control, I like to move into triads, which are just three-note chords built by stacking thirds. For example, in the key of C major, which has no sharps or flats, the notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then the octave C. Now by playing the first note, or the root, which is C, skipping the second and going to the major third, skipping the four and going to the perfect fifth, we've built a triad. We can play that here in the first position, although we usually don't. And then when we add the C up here, and then the E up here, we've built a chord. So even though we're playing 5 notes on the guitar, we're only playing 3 different notes. We have the C, E, G, C, and E. And that's a chord. Now we're going to look at playing triads up and down the fretboard using the cage system. And the cage system is simply C, A, G, E, and D. And we just take these shapes and we move them up and down the fretboard to create different chords, or as we'll see, triads. So here's our C here in the first position. Move it up here to the A shape, here in the G shape, E shape, and D shape. So we can either play them as full chords, or we can take the 1, 3, and the 5 out of those chords and just play them as a triad. So for example, if we're playing our C here, it's our 1, 5, 1, 3, and 5. What we're going to do is we're just going to take these high strings and play them by themselves. Now we've got a C triad. It consists of the 1, the 3, and the 5. And we can move it up here. We can play this E-shaped chord, or we can start on the major third at 5 and the 1. Now we've got a C triad. We can play the D shape up here, or we can just take out the 5, 1, and a 3. Now I've got a C triad. Again, we're doing 1. And these are very effective, so if you're playing in a band and somebody's down here playing the rhythm, you can play some cool stuff up here. The next chord we're going to look at is an A. In A major, we have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, and our octave A. Again, we're going to play the 1, the 3, and the 5. You can play it down here as a chord. But instead of playing the full chords, we can also take triads out of there. So, playing an A here in the E shape, again, we're just going to take the top 3 strings. Or we could play the C shape here. Okay, after the A, we're going to play in the key of G. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. We take the 1, 3, 5 out of that. G, B, D. Or we could play it here, which doesn't really sound very good. We can play it here. Or we can take the triad out of it. It's a D shape. Or just take the top 3 strings and play it as a triad. The C shape, or we can just take the middle strings here. Now we've got a triad. As an A shape, or we can just play the triad. So again, we're just taking the 1, 3, 5 out of these full chords and playing them by themselves as a triad. The next chord we're going to look at is an E. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. And again, again, we can play it here. If we want to play it as a triad down here, we can. C triad. The last one we're going to look at is D, and the notes in a D major are D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. You can play it here, and you can play it as a triad if we just do those three together. So again, triads are just taking three notes out of a chord and playing them together by stacking the thirds, the 1, 3, and the 5. And it's a very effective way of just kind of adding some color to your playing and getting out of this first position rut that a lot of guitar players find themselves in.